Hey everybody, this video is going to show you how to make a Chillstep song within 5 minutes using Ableton Live 9 Suite. So first things first, we're going to be using sample loops here to make this song, and I'm just going to run you through the kind of sounds you can get if you choose your samples wisely. So let's give this a shot first and get down to how we do this. Okay, so hopefully that gives you an idea of the kind of sounds you can get just using samples, just loop samples. And all I'm doing here is using my MIDI keyboard to launch each individual clip, and I have my quantization set up to 1 bar so everything stays in time. So I think very minimum effort and you have a really nice sound. So let's get down to the structure of this. So when we're making Chillstep, I've kind of broken it down to 3 main kind of essential parts. Yeah, 3 main ones. So we're going to say that for a Chillstep song, you need big drums. Very important to give a kind of sense of presence and a sense of kind of grand scale to this track. You know, you want to have a very, very atmospheric kind of aural landscape that you can carve. So you want to have big drums. So we got our Chillstep drums here. You want to have a pad, and pads are basically, you know, they provide this massive sound that really goes well with these atmospherics that we're trying to go for in a Chillstep setting. So I'm going to use this pad that I've downloaded from a website called Splice. All these samples are coming from a website called Splice, which is I highly recommend. I think it's like $6 a month, and you get access to a whole wealth of royalty-free samples, and they're really good. But even if you're not going to use Splice, you can use a website like, you know, Cymatics. They have amazing free samples, or you can just look them up on Reddit, and you know, plenty of users uploading the stuff they have. So back to the track. So we have our drums, we have our pad for ambience, and number 3 that we kind of want is we want something that's going to cut through the mix a bit. Now, some people use a voiceover, some people use any kind of instrument really, but I've chosen here for the guitar. So it adds a little bit of flavor to it, gives it a bit of snap, a bit of twang to the track. And of course as well, not so essential, but something that I use quite often is the transition, the so-called transition track. So you can see here we have this kind of massive sounding ethereal sound, and that just basically is something that I would use to like separate the A section in the music from the B section. So, you know, you might have your guitar part at the start, which will sound like this, and then when you're moving to the second part, you want to stop the guitar and bring in your transition. So you have your drums come in, now transition. Let that, you know, breathe for a sec, and then you're back to your guitar. So it just is a nice way to add space to the music. So I suppose, wrapping it up, you want your big drums, you want your nice ambient pad to fill up the frequencies in the soundscape, you know, to really envelop the user, or the listener, I should say. You want to have something that's going to cut through the mix a bit. So in my case, we have a guitar. I could also use a voiceover or some kind of other instrument that's going to add a bit of interest. And then optionally, you can have your transition piece. Could be anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be like an ambient a very ambient noise, because the transition here is similar to the pad that we've used in a way, but you could be anything. But just in my experience, these kind of ethereal sounds really lend themselves well to it. So yeah, I hope you guys, might have learned a thing or two from this video. I know it was quite, quick and dirty, but this is going to be the first of a series of videos about how to use Ableton to create different kind of genres. So hopefully you enjoyed. If you have any questions or want any links to some of these samples, feel free to mention them in the comments, and check the description for the links to the websites that I mentioned here. Okay guys, cheers.